I think talking about how you can go from hero to zero real quick, talking about your Cloudbreak experience. That was, I mean, obviously, you come close to drowning over there, but I'd like to hear your take on that whole morning. I've heard the story about, hey, you got out there early, it looked pretty small, you just decided to go, board shorts, not worry about the vest and stuff, and then having what happened, like it's a wake up call, right? Exactly the same, right? You go from biggest wave of your life, biggest wave in the world, double Excel award, and you go to Cloudbreak, and then that happens, and you're just like, whoa, it's the ocean is the master, But take us through that morning, going through, getting out to Cloudbreak, getting out there, and then what happened after that.
Yeah, like as we were talking about before, the mental preparation and the stuff of what it is, and these are lessons that you learn and experience that come in with what you do as a big wave surfer, and they all play into allowing you to surf big waves and be okay and come home to your families. And for me, that one, we're over there and we're watching the swell and checking the waves, and we got there early, we're looking at it was funky wind, we're like, oh great, funky wind, and swell's not as big as it was supposed to be. Just things didn't line up the way that you would see, like the Jaws day, everything was like, oh yeah, this is the day. This was like the day that we were expecting to see there was supposed to be like that, and it's not. And then you kind of just get almost, in a mindset where you're like, whatever. I just took things, you take things kind of for granted a little bit of just your normal preparation, and just knowing it's a building swell, I should have probably approached it with a lot more, tentativeness. I think, there's different ways of looking at it, but reality of what that swell was, like I surfed that kind of conditions when I jumped in all the time here at home, and it's not a big deal, but it's those new places and the things that they're not knowing the place as well as I should have, and all these little things that play into the experience that happens. And it's a good reminder, like for everybody that was involved in that, like everybody looked at me, and when I got the wave at Jaws, was like, yeah, that's Aaron. Yeah, they all expected that. That wasn't something crazy. So then this happens, and it's like, it happens to me. That puts it all in perspective for every one of us, as myself and all of our peers and all of us, we're all tight-knit of guys. And, you just never really put it in perspective that it's going to happen to you. And even my training and the things that we've done, you do all these big wave risk assessment group courses and things, and we train together for safety and being safe, but, implementing them in a way that is where you're ready to use them and these things is what's key. And, part of it is having the diligence to stick to your plans every time and have things set up in the right way so that you don't fall into it. Because when you're not looking or you're not aware and you let your guard down, that's when things like that happen. And, it was just a really, really, really weird, without going into like a crazy long story, my experience with it wasn't your normal experience. I didn't really knock out or anything like that, and didn't really get held down, this crazy thing. It was really, I feel like for myself, was just a total God thing of a lesson for me to learn and go through and experience, and to let myself understand, like, hey, he can use me, and he's ultimately in control in those situations. And we as big wave surfers as a community should be always watching out for each other, whether it's 2 feet up to huge, whatever it is. It's just being prepared and knowing that, hey, these things are going to happen, and they can happen when you least expect it, and they usually will happen when you least expect it. And your training that you have, you most likely won't use it when it's 40, 50 feet and cranking. You're going to probably use it when it's 2 feet on a reef and your friend hits themselves or hurts their, paralyzes their back or whatever it is, but you're going to be able to react with the right thing. And so I took a lot home from it, and, I'm super thankful, obviously, to have gone through those experiences. And, that's what makes us be able to do what we do, is you take things home from each time. Like, in hindsight, being prepared, having the right equipment on when I should have, if I wore it and something happened, no big deal. But in my mentality, I was like, I'll jump in, I'm fine. And if it's a big one, I'll grab my vest and stuff. Whereas I should have been on the right equipment from the beginning, and not, taking those little things, you just added extra risk to a situation that I could have not done. And, I learn and grow from each situation, and I'm, the guys that were involved are, my good friends, and I'll never, to be on the other side of your training is a pretty humbling experience. Like when we train, we think it's never going to happen to us, but it is. It's for each one of us. You're only as good as the guy next to you. I'm only as good as you, Jamie, if you're training, and vice versa. Are you confident in the people that are around you? And all of my friends that were there are amazing, and that contributed to me being fine and okay and walking out and being able to surf again. So even to this day, it's like those experiences is still, there's still always like it's a check in your pride. You got to take it back and go, we're not in control, and come to it with a humble heart and know that you're supposed to be out there. And if you're not comfortable, then take the time and until you're comfortable to be out there, and don't push anything.
Yeah, I think I think there's moments in time. I think that, obviously when Mark Fu died at Mavericks, and then I think Sion, his passing at Mavericks, I think there's times and moments where they just, they're, for whatever reason, they happen to remind us, to put us back in check that, hey, this can happen to everyone. Like, I mean, I think that El Nino year, so much crazy stuff happened, and I saw people take waves and beatings that you just go, how is that possible that guy is still alive? And then you get your wave, and I think that everyone was just like, everyone felt invincible. You know what I mean? And I think that then all of a sudden, that rolls through, goes into Southern Hemisphere, then that happens to you. I think it's a really good reality check. And like, I bet you everyone in that moment just went, holy shit, Aaron just nearly drowned. Like, that happened after what we just saw him do at Jaws. I think that probably at one stage, everyone just went, you know what? It's back to training. It's back to making sure I'm going to be ready. I'm not going to overlook the big picture, and I think, like you said, sometimes, these things happen for whatever reason. And maybe that was the reason for all of us to just go, hey, this is another reality check. We need to be ready. And thank God, things have been pretty good, so, yeah. I mean, I remember being here when I heard it, and I was just like, wow, I was tripping out, but thank God everything is okay.
Yeah, it's well said right there, what you said. The way that you look at it, it's that, it's exactly the way you put it right there. That's well said. Being prepared and not taking the little things.
For granted.
Gotta approach it every day. Yeah, every day. It's not in our hands. And I don't care who you are, the best. Think you're the biggest, best, baddest, whatever. I'm telling you, you'll always be humbled. God is always bigger than that, and us, and it's a gift to be able to enjoy the things that we get to enjoy while we're here. And if you approach it with that way, you go far, and you'll come home to your family. And those are the things. As much as we love surfing, and we're all big wave surfers, like, our families and the people around us are honestly way more important than any wave we're going to ride. And I want to encourage the young kids out there that, don't put all your eggs into this big wave surf basket or surfing basket. There's a lot of things in this world that are going to fade away, and you just really, take it as it comes, and enjoy the moments that you have with the people around you. And those relationships and the friendships that you build are worth so much more than the waves that you ride. A lot of these trips, and me and you get to go on, and this group that get to call friends, those experiences are ones that when you're old and you got these memories to look back on, or what you're going to hold on to, because we're getting older and you won't be able to surf forever. And but to be able to talk about it and these things, and like those trips that you bring up is so fun, and your friends, even if you're not a traveling surfer, but those experiences of going down to your home beach break and cruising with your friends and being able to just end the day in the water and go home and hang out and enjoy each other's company is what's really valuable. And that's what surfing does. It brings us together. And wherever you go around the world, you find that camaraderie in surfing. Is we're one family, and in that same way, we want to be looking out for everybody and bringing your best to the plate, and enjoy it together and make those memories. And I'm thankful for that. I definitely have learned that over the years.